in the first paragraph, it appears that when posting discrepancies to the local suspense, these amounts simply disappear at branch level and a balance is shown. And then reading on, solutions may have repercussions in any future prosecution cases and on the integrity of the Horizon system. That would ring alarm bells for you, wouldn't it?
It certainly would, but
Thank you, because it mentions on its face repercussions for prosecutions and on the integrity of Horizon Online.
Yeah, but what my evidence is that I don't remember receiving it, don't remember printing it, and that is not. I don't know anything about this.
Okay, if we just go back up, please, you'll see that the email that was sent to you had 2 attachments. Can you see that under attachments?
Yes.
The first of which was called Receipts, Payments, Notes, version 5.doc.
Yes.
And the second was called Lost Discrepancies, 290910.doc, yes?
Yes.
Remember what Mr. Jenkins' document was called? Lost Discrepancies, yes?
Yes.
Remember its date, 29th of September 2010, yes?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Let's display poll 302 8838, please. And then scroll down, please. And to page 6, please. Thank you. You'll see that in the reference again, this document was called Notes/Lost Discrepancies, and it's dated the 29th of September 2010, yes?
Yes.
And if we look at the footer of the page, please. The character string at the bottom, C:\\documents and settings /Jarnail.a.sing, local settings, temporary internet files, etc. This was saved in your drive, wasn't it?
I don't know, sir. As I said to you, I don't recall seeing it, don't recall printing it.
This was saved in your drive, wasn't it?
I don't even know what you're talking about, because I don't know how to do these things worked.
You don't know how to save a document?
No. I didn't at that time in year 2010.
So the decades you worked for the Post Office, you didn't save a document?
Certainly not when I was at the Royal Mail Group.
You never saved a document?
No, because I didn't know how to do it.
You know, don't you, that you got this email, you got Mr. Jenkins' documents, and not only was it saved in your drive, you printed it, didn't you?
No, that's not the case.
How can you recall whether you printed a document or not?
I don't recall. That was the reason why it was difficult to remember it. Otherwise, I would have would certainly try to find out what this means, because document at that time, year 2010, I didn't have the knowledge. Certainly, didn't have the technical knowledge, or what it meant. I needed somebody to explain it to me, and then deal with it accordingly. But I do not remember this document at all, or the email.
Can we display at the same time poll 305 5410? We can see the email sending this document to you is dated the 29th, is timed at 4:29 p.m. Can you see that on the left-hand side?
Yes, I can, yes.
And we can see that it was printed 9 minutes later at 4:38.
Yes.
See that at the
yes.
bottom?
No, that is there, yes.
You printed this document out, didn't you? You
No.
did so because you'd read the email from Messrs. Simpson and Wilson. And you printed the document out, didn't you? The attachment out.
That's not true. I don't remember seeing the email from Rob Wilson, the attachments to it, at all. From memory, I don't recall the document.
And what you're engaged in now is closing your mind to the possibility that you saw this, blind denial, because you know that this is evidence of your own guilty knowledge.
That is not true, and I don't feel guilty because I haven't received it. If I did, I would have dealt with it by understanding what it meant. And
You just said, if I had received it.
If I've seen it, I don't recall receiving it or reading it or printing it. That is my evidence on oath.
This is the Tuesday, the week before Seema Misra's trial started on the Monday. No. Friday, I'm so sorry. You didn't disclose the existence of this bug in the trial, did you?
I didn't. I don't have any recollection of receiving it or seeing it.
You know now that the Post Office conceded before the Court of Appeal that there ought to have been such disclosure, don't you?
Well, this ought to have been dealt with by the head of criminal law team. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's an expert. He has a wider knowledge of these things as to why he just sent it as a FYI. He's a man of experience and knowledge and expertise. I have never known anything received from him without any detailed knowledge as to what to do with it. He gave us very detailed instructions, and he's just sent it as FYI. I can't understand that at all. And I can't recall receiving it or reading it or printing it at that time. And the only time I have read it is when the inquiry sent me the papers.
You had a meeting with Mr. Wilson about it, didn't you?
I don't recall that meeting.
That's referred to in the second line of the email on the left.
That is, I think, must be a team meeting, but I know certainly me and the legal executive and my secretary were dealing with the Misra trial, with the exhibits, from memory exhibits, and the jury bundles. I don't know.
You were the solicitor with conduct of Misra, weren't you?
Yes, I was, yes.
It fell to you to give disclosure of this bug, didn't it?
If I received it and understood it, but I don't remember receiving that email with those attachments.
So what we've got is an email addressed to you attaching details of the bug. We've got a copy of the document saved in your drive, and we've got it printed 9 minutes after the email was received by you. And you say you didn't get any of this?
No. As I said to you, I do not recall this document at all, the email and the attachments. I even, when I got the papers from the inquiry, I didn't understand it at all, what it meant, because this is not an area where I was that comfortable with in understanding. So I needed somebody who did. And I don't, firstly, remember receiving any of this.
It follows, doesn't it, that when you were saying in 2013 and 2015 that the first you had heard about the receipts and payments mismatch bug was when Second Sight revealed it, in inverted commas, in their report, that was false, wasn't it?
No, that is not the case.
It was false in 2013 and it was false in 2015, wasn't it?
No, that's not the case. It's
you
not
knew
true.
You'd been told about this bug in 2010, just before the trial.
No.
And you were covering it up in 2013 and 2015, weren't you?
No, there was been no cover-up on my part, and never will be, and never can be.
Can we take that down, please, and look at your witness statement, please? Page 68, paragraph 204.
60.
Sorry, I think it's your first witness statement.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you if he has the first
Which
one.
is WITN 0475 0100. Page 68, please. So page 68, please. Thank you. Foot of the page, paragraph 204. You say, I've considered the document entitled Correcting Accounts for Lost Discrepancies. That's the Gareth Jenkins document of the 29th of September 2010. And you say, I do not recall having seen this document before the inquiry provided it to me. If I'd known about this document, I would have provided it to the investigation and security team to try and understand what it meant, the implications of it, and whether the problem was being resolved. Once it had been assessed, I would have considered the disclosure test and disclosed it. In this witness statement, you are seeking to carry on the pretense, aren't you, that you hadn't seen the document in 2010, weren't you?
No, sir, that's not the case.
You're here running the same line as you had run in 2013 and 2015, aren't you?
No.
Giving false evidence to the inquiry?
No, I do not give false evidence. I'm here to assist, and that's what I'm doing.
When you wrote this, you didn't know that we would discover an email sending the document to you of the 5th of October, did you?
No, that's not the case. I don't remember any of these documents at all.
Sorry, the 8th of
receiving from
October.
the inquiry.
You didn't know that we would get hold of the document, the email dated the 8th of October, showing that this had in fact been sent to you?
No, that's not the case.
You didn't pay this much attention when you were writing this witness statement by looking at the character string at the bottom of the document to see that it had in fact been saved in your drive, did you?
That's not the case. That's
You're
not true.
You're not really a details man, are you?
Well, I don't know what you mean, but...
You weren't paying the attention that it deserved to the details when you were writing this, were you? You didn't see that you'd printed the document, did you?
I don't know what you mean, sir, but I can tell you I did not see that document until before the inquiry sent it to me.
So that might be an appropriate moment for the morning break.